Start already.
Yeah, kind of. This should be comfortable.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's start.
Let's
In
start.
3, 2, 1. Hi guys!
Hey guys!
Welcome back.
to another episode of
#NOFILTERPODCAST.
Finally.
Finally, you got it right. Yay!
Kind of expected you to say something else, but it's okay. You got it.
So, we were recording outside just now.
Yep.
What happened was,
Started raining.
and there was no shelter. I mean, technically there was shelter,
Yes.
but shelter be like, screw you, fuck and you. You know, your expensive camera don't mean shit to me. So
Yeah.
that's basically Malaysian manner.
Yes.
So, what are we supposed to talk about on this episode again? Please remind me on Discord.
Arranged or passion.
Arrange or passion job.
Yeah.
Okay. Arrange or passion job.
Yes. You know, it depends. It honestly depends. You know, I think it's like arranged job is mostly like it depends on who's choosing it for you, for the better of you. Like I know I have a friend whose parents chose their career path for them, which I mean there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you kind of lose the one thing which is called the element of choice. But I think passion jobs, it's something that you want to do, but at the same time there is a huge risk to it, because you're not exactly sure whether if it's going to pay off or not, and it's kind of a long journey lah. So compared to an arranged job where it's like more practical, I would say. But of course, the risk that you take for not knowing what your passion is, the reward will be very, very good. So that's honestly how I feel it lah. But both options are actually not too bad, to be honest.
To me, I prefer to follow my passion. I don't really like arranged jobs.
Yeah.
Because one thing about arranged jobs is that, yeah, I mean, it's good. You have something that's stable and everyone is hunting for you with their job hunters. But the thing is that if you're doing something that you don't like, and in the context of money, you won't go far and you won't grow in the long term. That's what I feel. But however, if you're doing something out of passion, because it's something that you like to do and it's something you want to do, you die also know you're doing this for the rest of your life, then I feel that the chance of growth is higher, and the success rate is of course definitely going to be higher. But your commitment to that company itself, although let's say maybe you don't plan to work for 5 or 10 years or for the rest of your life, but let's say in that short period of time, because you're doing it out of passion,
Yes.
you won't really care much about how much you're earning, because you feel like, okay, maybe now I'm just gaining experience to the industry, but this is something I want to do and I know I want to do, and it's something I want to improve on. And like I said in the previous episode about thresholds and how much is too much, is that sometimes education, they don't provide us with the experience that we need.
Yes.
So sometimes this is where passion comes into play. It's like, let's say I want to be a content creator, but in your diploma or degree, they don't teach you how to become a content creator. They can tell you the basics like editing, filming, lighting, stuff like that. But they don't tell you how to be a successful one. Because all this needs to be based on your expertise, your experience, how confident you are, how's your editing, how do you engage with the audience. So these things they can't really tell you, because it's a lot of hands-on, it's all practical, and it's all experience. So this is also why passion grows you in the long run, is because that when your boss starts to see you, despite having such a low pay I would say, and in future episodes we'll mention about this, but if you're doing this in such a low paying environment but you're showing passion, your boss will automatically want to increase your salary.
Yes.
Because he sees that maybe you're not contributing much to the company, but you're providing the atmosphere. And what's important in a company is the atmosphere. What's the working environment like? So I would say that with passion, you will go a long way. Tavin looks sleepy.
Yeah, I just had a long day. But yeah, of course, in passion wise, it's something that you love to do, and you know what they say, if you find something that you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is some like false to it. Like this the statement itself, there's like so much. You don't feel like you work a day in your life, but at one point sometimes even with your passion, you still will get burnt out. You still have side effects. Yeah. So it's not all lovey-dovey when it comes to following your passion. Like there will be ups and downs, and it's something that you have to kind of endure while you're working lah. But of course, for the most part, you will like it, and it'll just be a lot easier for you lah, because you just kind of know, okay, what to do and how to do it, compared to an arranged job where like you're kind of like stuffing the stuff that you don't want to know anyway to just kind of learn. But eventually
kind of survive in the company.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually you'll get to it. Like some people, when they go to an arranged job, there's 50-50 chance that you will like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
So people who don't like it, they have an option to either stay in that job line because they already have enough experience to just kind of make a living, or the other 50, they will just go to another job, and find something better or worse depending on their preference. But in honesty, I think there are some good and bad to it to the passion lah.
Yeah.
But even arranged job also, there is ups and downs.
I think what's the most important one about if you're going with passion, your passionate jobs, is that, like you mentioned just now, your breakdowns.
Yes.
Different industry, there's different type of breakdowns.
Yes.
For content creation is your creativity breakdown, which is where point of life, like I think many YouTubers have gone through this before, which is your creativity breakdown. It's like at one point they'll stop posting content.
Yes.
Because they can't think of any content to post out anymore. It's
they just going to reach their limit already at that point.
And it's not to say that they are not creative or they are not engaging with their audiences. They are very engaging. You can see them on camera. They're like always addressing the audience. They are always like trying to engage, trying to recommend you stuff, trying to promote something in their context is good for you as the viewer, and also from their own experience is good for them. But there is only so much so a human minds and creative can go and their passion can go. But when those things run dry, we'll have this breaking point where it's called the cold phase, where you don't really want to produce any more content. You don't really want to think of what's the next big thing. That's why we categorize podcasts in seasons. Yes. That's why a lot of YouTubers, you'll see, if you follow a YouTuber from the beginning to the end, you'll see that in one part of his life, this is like the first chapter.
Yes.
And then there's the second chapter, then the third chapter. And then within those two chapters, there's this break. It can be a week, it can be a month. Like, let's take, okay, I'm more familiar with Logan Paul. So everything was going good. He was daily vlogging and stuff like that. But until his that one incident, he took a few like months, or is it a year? I'm also not. A few months off to not only reflect on his actions, but to think of how do I regain the public's trust? How do I rebuild the channel from there? So that's one thing they go through. It's like right now, after his hiatus, he did came out in a kind of improper way, but at least he's still trying to make up for it. However, if we look into his friend Mike's channel, the night shift, you see that Logan seldom appears on his channel anymore. We don't know what's he doing. Maybe it's Prime Energy drink.
Prime Energy.
With KSI.
Please come to Malaysia.
Yes, please come to Malaysia. I want to try it. He likes KSI, I like Logan Paul, and then we essentially become in a fighting match sometimes.
Not really, I get the point.
But yeah, these are things, you see, we can take Logan Paul as an example. Like, there's this drought period, this dry period, this cold period, and then now, I think how Prime happened was after their boxing fight, they wanted to fight, and I mean so-called their interpretation of how they founded Prime Energy drink was after the competition. There was like no sports drink that was like good and all. So they came up with Prime. But what I felt was, in those half a year, I would say, when Logan was taking his break off social media, he was kind of thinking into going other than the YouTube journey, because YouTube revenue, they can bring you this far.
Yeah.
But you need to think of other ways.
Yes.
Because if you see a lot of famous YouTubers, they have their own merchandise. They have their own clothing brand, they have their own like fan merchandise that their viewers and their community subscribers can purchase from to support them. So this tells us that the YouTube's algorithm and the YouTube's paying or monetization program is not as strong as what we think. Okay, yes, it's a lot of money, but if you want to do it long term, how long can you go? So that's why they, like Logan, they come up with their own brand, and a lot of YouTubers, they come up with their own brand or have collaborations with other people. Those brand deals, they're not like small, few thousand. They are tens and hundreds of thousands sometimes, depending on your popularity. So if you want to go the distance with your passion, you need to know your pre-planning. Like we talked in episode 2, I think. Episode 2, we talk about planning for the next 5 to 10 years of your life. So it doesn't need to be when you're in a passionless moment or you're in a drought season that you plan, but you can plan anytime. It like your life can be all high right now. You're working your passionate job, everything is fine. The pay is, to you, is good. Maybe to others is bad, but sometimes in reality it's above what you expect. Yeah, it's good and all, but you need to start planning, like what you want to do in your next step. And in terms of an arranged job, I don't have input for this. Can you?
Well, I think like arranged job, it really like depends on the type of person you are, because like if you're very, very clueless and you don't really know exactly where you want to go in life, then I think having people like your parents or maybe your relatives to kind of help you figure out your path is gonna be something that you have to go through lah. Of course, if you can do everything yourself, then you know exactly what you want to do, which is your passion. But if you are clueless as hell, don't know what to do, and you're not trusting enough to make your own decision, then I think that's where the arranged part comes in. Of course, granted, at the end of the day, it's not really for everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, but it all depends on your own situation lah.
I feel like that was like moving to the side for 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for arranged job, honestly, I will associate it with climbing the corporate ladder. Because a lot of times I think when going to an arranged job, it's something like you're kind of forced to it, and then your pay might be
Yeah.
and then you're like working, of course. In some point of time, you kind of grow an attachment to it that somehow turns into your passion. And yeah, you start slowly climbing the corporate ladder. But I think that's one thing on how you differentiate between passion or arranged. Okay, I think I might as well say this just to be safe. An arranged job doesn't really necessarily mean that your parents or relatives found it for you. You can find it yourself also. Like maybe one point in your life you say, okay, maybe I need some extra income. Let me go find a part-time job. That's like arranged job already, because you know your financial situation and you need something, and then like I say, threshold. There's only so much someone can give you. To exceed that, you kind of need to do something different. So, be it on YouTube, starting as a content creator, or working part-time, maybe at Beast Junior, Starbucks. If they sponsor us, I would like some good stuff.
Yes, please. But I think we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Our views are sad.
It's okay. It's a start,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, behind the scenes, I've been asking Tavin like, bro, the views are shit. And I've been reflecting on the previous podcast, the Potong Steam podcast. Yeah, the first episode is good and all. It's all hype. As more episodes release and come out, the views just start to go down.
Yeah.
And now this is what happening to us.
It's,
You know, our first episode got like 30 to 40 views, and now it's like 10.
it's okay. It's okay. You know, maybe we just need to find more interesting topics to talk about.
I got 4 seasons worth. I hope it's worth it.
Yeah, it should be alright.
Should be. But yeah, like I said, when you start to do something with a purpose or motivation behind it, it's kind of like an arranged job already, because it's not like something you suddenly say, hey, I want to start doing this just because I like it. But if you start doing something you like how we are doing this podcast, is something that I kind of enjoy, because I'm also in the industry. So I would say it's a half-half. I'm an arranged / passion job. Like recording all this is my passion, but when it comes to a job scope, it's like editing, posting, social media. These are some things that I don't like to do, like marketing, all this stuff I don't really like. So that side of this podcast is my arranged job. The passion side is recording, coming up with topics, dragging my friend out on a Sunday or Saturday and say like, hey bro, it's time to record.
Yep.
Tired I don't give a damn. Yeah, that's my passion. And burnouts, I think it's happening always, but just to what degree and what certainty. Yeah. And as usual, the moment of silence.
Sorry, just a little bit too.
Everyone's sleepy.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it's your decision to make, like, you know, if you want to choose the passion or if you want to go for arranged. They are both goods and bads. There are always consequences. You know, there are challenges. You know, what you choose will dictate, you know, exactly how your life goes, and you kind of need to adapt it. Of course, if you sit and whine, then chances are you're not really gonna go anywhere afterwards.
That's what I like to do. I like to sit and whine.
Yeah, it probably won't get you far, but your progress will be a lot slower, lah. That's what I can say.
But I also think that it's like a moment of re-evaluation of your life. Like, if you sit and whine for long enough, I mean, this is based
long enough.
This is based on my experience.
Okay.
I sit and whine to the point where I'll be like, yeah, just like my YouTube channel is like, if you look through all the videos, all the past from the beginning to the end, you'll see that I stopped YouTube for 3 to 4 years, or 5 or 6, and I was like, even before that, I wasn't posting regularly. I was like posting like occasionally based on my mood.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, those 5 to 6 years I was sitting and whining, and I decided like, you know what, I'm starting to go, I'm going to come out of work soon, and I don't really want to find a job. So yeah, here's my job. And yeah, you see, this is where passion and kind of arranged job leads you.
When you said sitting and whining for a long time, how long before you realize that's a long time?
Actually, that's up to individual.
Wow.
I can't say how long is how long. For me, it takes years.
Oh, bruh.
Sometimes months. Sometimes hours. So it's hard. It depends on how severe the situation is, you know. Like, based on how severe this situation that I'm going to go for a job soon, this is severe. This took like 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Call back my old friend. Hey, Potong Steam podcast was not a thing anymore. But you know what? Let's go with No Filter Podcast. I feel like that's something good.
Yes.
And yeah, this how YouTube got reactivated in my life. But for sometimes it's like education. Education is something I find a lot of people would like to debate for quite some time first before consider, you know, pursuing deeper or further, like you. Go to sleep.
We have a podcast to do.
The podcast can wait any day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is basically what arranged suppression is. What would be your pick, to be honest? I mean, what would be your pick at the end of the day?
Honestly, I'll go for passion. I want to do something I like and something I love, regardless of pay. And I think I had this mindset for quite some time already. Because I'm very picky with what I do. I don't like customer service. I don't like the F&B industry. Not to say the waiters and all are not good, but it's just that, you know,
Yeah.
we were once in their position
Yes.
as who they are facing every day.
Yes.
And if I were to switch roles, I know how I can be sometimes to waiter and waitresses and people in the service industry. Should actually not me, my parents. When I see my parents, I was like, yeah, F&B industry not for me.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of Karens out there.
Yes.
My gosh. But yeah, for me it's passion.
To me, I would choose passion also, because I feel like it's more smoother. Like mentality wise, I think it's a lot smoother for me. Of course, I do understand there are ups and downs with it, but you know, I feel like I want to dictate exactly what I want to do. Like therefore, choosing my passion is better, because at the very least, every decision that I make is based on me and not from someone else's. Because at the end of the day, I have the element to choose.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think the element of choosing is very important.
Yes.
Like sometimes, don't just say qualifications lah. Like I say in the previous episode, you may have a certificate but you have experience. You are hired before the guy with more qualifications than you. So this is where it's like you need to have your, what's the word you say just now? What do you say just now? The point that you say?
The choosing part.
Yeah, the element of choice. So
yes.
I don't know if it's that or not, but I'm just going to freestyle this. But yes, the element of choice is important. It's like you are given options. Like as the saying goes, one door closes, another few doors open.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it's like you can go for an arranged job when the door opens. But once the door closes, you might know that maybe a passion job appears, or maybe an arranged job appears, and that's when you need to start to make a decision. I think the point is decision.
Yes.
Like you have the power of making a decision. So your decision ultimately affects yourself and not the company you're working for. So at the end of the day, you need to look at you. Like, what do you want to do? Is it your passion, or is it you want an arranged job with something that's stable? Because one thing I know, if you follow your passion, nothing is stable.
Yes.
You can be all successful and all, but one day you're gonna have a fall.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in episode 1. After SPM, everyone goes through the fall.
Yeah.
The waterfall. But
basically the fall, but I think that's kind of how you improve and become a better person at the end of the day.
yeah, that's correct. So yeah. Anything you want to add on?
Alright.
Not really. We're all sleepy. Yeah, let's end it here. So
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.
share to your friends and family. Turn on notifications if you haven't already.
And yeah.
And yeah,
Hope to see you guys in the next video.
peace. Bye bye.